Shalom. First, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I want to give all honor and glory to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you brothers out there on the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Just want to get a quick lesson on identifying the nations and identifying who Esau, Edom is, okay, and the nation of Edom, and then who the nation of Israel is. Okay, it's going to be a multiple part lesson though. So we're going to start at Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. And find out who Esau Edom is and the birth of Esau and the birth of Jacob. And this is 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Right, because Isaac entreated the Lord for Rebekah because she was having trouble giving birth to children at that time. So the Lord, you know, had to bless Rebekah, and therefore at that time she conceived children. And 22, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So Rebekah asked, why are my children fighting inside me? Why are they, you know, you know, twirling around in my womb? Why are they, not getting along? And 23, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other people. Okay, so from that we can see already who that might be talking about. Okay, through the Spirit we can see that there's two different nations. As we expand on who the nation of Edom and the nation of Israel are, we can see who those nations are because they're exact opposites, man. Okay, one nation is stronger than the other because Esau through the seed line is our brother, man. Okay, but through what he did to our people, through history, he's gonna have to pay for those things. Okay. And that's why it says the elder shall serve the younger. So take note of that because in the scriptures it refers to that several times. The elder shall serve the younger. There's several precepts on that. Okay. And in 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay, so which nation of people out here can we identify as red all over? Okay, when you make a so-called white person mad, they get red, man, and that's just the truth. It's not these so-called Native Americans. Native Americans are the northern kingdom of Israel, and through history we've identified that, and through these scriptures we've identified that. Through the Spirit we've identified that the true red man and the true Edomite is the so-called white people out here, man, because we're gonna see why their skin is pale. Okay, it's not fair. It's pale, and through that it's cursed. We'll see it in the scriptures. Um, as we get further into these scriptures, we see that leprosy is a curse. Okay, and that's what pale skin is. And so we're gonna get back in 26. Okay. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. Okay, so that's important to see right now because in symbology we can look in the world and see what nation of people is under the other nation of people. Okay, we see one nation, the so-called white man, being the kings of the world that they are. Even though they've sold out the lower half of their own nation for lust of greed and lust of money, they still are in control of the hierarchy of the world, whether people wanted to admit it or not. That is the case, and it's easy to see that. So through symbology, we see one nation of people above the other, man. You see Jake, and you see Israel, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans that built up the world and the known world today through the free slave labor, through the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, so that's why it's easy to see that Jacob, as he was born our father, through the Spirit, we can see that he was grabbing onto Esau's heel, and rightfully so, man, because here we are in this kingdom now, and how is it that we are under Esau in every way, and that's it's you know through the Spirit we can see how later on we'll see that Jacob is the beginning of the world, and or Esau is the ending of the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning. So we are to follow Esau's madness, man. We are to come after this, and and be the solution through Yahushua Mashiach and the elect. 144, man. So we're going to get 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So through the Spirit, we can identify which nations of people are that are likely unto those customs as well. See that these so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans are chill, docile people. You know, I can speak for myself, and I'm a inside person. I like to remain simple and stay to myself, especially now that I'm in this truth and to the tents. That would mean, you know, your dwelling place, your tabernacle, your house, your place of residence. Okay. And Esau's a cunning hunter, man. That's right. Because out here through the Spirit, we can see these Edomites, you know, with their 6-inch lift kits and their Ford trucks and the Chevy trucks, man, and all that deal. And you know, they're hunting rifles and being the consumers they are. You know, that's how Esau is. Come to find out, no wonder he has such a massive obsession with hunting, because he's the greatest hunter of all time, man. That's how he allured and deceived the world to becoming in, you know, coming into control of it, man. He's the greatest deceiver there ever was, and he even deceived his own people. You know, we're starting to see that in the middle class in America today. We see the implications of how Esau's even sold out his own people in his own nation. So how do you think he's doing, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there, man? He doesn't give a fuck about you people. He doesn't give a fuck about his own people, man. So I don't know what y'all are thinking. 28, and Esau loved Esau, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay, venison is just deer meat. Okay, it's just meat from a deer. Isaac loved Esau because he was his firstborn, man. You know, they were boys at that time, and it was custom of Isaac to love, or the father at those times in old times in old law, to love your firstborn, man, through the Spirit. Of course, you're gonna love your firstborn son. In 29, and Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. So Esau came out from hunting, was hungry, and wanted some food. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, okay, that red meat," which is why through the Spirit we see these Edomites, they're red, man, and why they have leprosy. That's the curse, man, because Esau was, uh, you know, quaint for red meat and raw meats, man. He had a little taste for raw and rare meats. For I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom, right? So that was his curse, man. His name was Edom because he never stopped eating. And through the scriptures, we see uh, connections to names like devourer, consumer, you know, things like that. I'm not gonna say consumer, but that's my own little word for Esau. But devourer, because he is a devourer, you know, that's just destroyer, you know, the wicked root. You can refer to First Maccabees and the Apocrypha to that. Okay, so 31. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point, at the point, the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?" So carnally, as a carnal man, Esau was and still is, and so is the nation of Edom. He chose to fulfill his lust of gluttony, you know, or his need for gluttony, and gave up his birthright, and it was a fair trade. Okay, so 33, and Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and and he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So fairly before the eyes of the Lord, okay, because the Lord's always watching, man. He's watching at all times. The Lord sees everything. 34, and Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So by eating that food there, and eating that food, okay, Esau made the deal, man. He sealed the pact. He sealed his his own fate there by eating and raising up, man, because that was the deal. So he gave up his birthright there, and through that, it's gonna be my first segment on why Esau gave up his birthright, and we're gonna get in later how through the Lord the spirit of this who Edom is, okay, and how that is the nation is the wicked root, and we're gonna get into that. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.